Hey guys, I'm Elizabeth Rain. Thank you for joining me today on my brand new YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know me, I hosted the Step into Recovery series on Just TV, as well as the Universal Recovery Preamble, which we're going to continue doing because recovery is good, guys. Thank you guys. For those of you who do know me, thank you for staying in touch. Thank you for messaging me on Facebook. You seriously made me cry. For those of you who do know me, you know I've been absent for a while. I took some time for myself. And, I'll just be straight up with you guys. I was in jail. And, no, I'm not a little badass. I actually had like $4,800 in unpaid fines from, years ago. Like 6 years ago when I very first started learning how to drive standard. And apparently the government takes that very seriously. And so I got arrested on a pay or stay warrant, which is basically you pay or you stay in jail. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't have an extra $4,800 kicking around in my pocket. So I chose to stay. And, let me tell you guys, you don't want to do that. You do not want to go to jail. If you have fines, pay them because the government takes that shit seriously. And, jail is just, it's not a great place to be, you guys. Like, the biggest excitement there is bricks. And for those of you who've been in jail, you already know what I'm talking about. You're probably sitting at home right now laughing. And for those of you who have not been in jail, a brick is basically like two pieces of bread that they smother this afterbirth colored paste into the middle of it that's made up of peanut butter and jam byproducts, not even real jam, thrown into a blender so that you get both the flavors, but they can spread it a little thinner so that, they save some money. The very first day I was there, I threw mine away. And that's the biggest excitement in jail. Bricks are the big excitement. And I threw mine away. I was like, oh, can I talk to the manager, please? Like, somebody's trying to poison me here. But, it was not a good time. So that's where I've been. And, that's going to be my next fight after this whole CFS thing. Canada's trying to poison their prisoners. We need to do something about this. But, it just, the outpour of people who were, they were like, are you okay? Have you relapsed? Is there anything I can do to help? You guys are amazing. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I gotta say, a year ago today, I guess more than a year now, just over a year, nobody would ask me that. I could disappear for weeks on end. Nobody cared. I could disappear for a month and people would be like, oh, you're back? Okay. And now, I got out of LCC. I moved into my new house. This is my sunroom, which is also my workspace and very messy. But I have a lot going on in my life, and for you guys to reach out and say, hey, where are you? Are you coming back? Coronavirus, hello, we need recovery. It really made me smile. For those of you who have never watched my show before, I do the Universal Recovery Preamble. And I know everybody who has been to those A groups right now is going, we do not need another, A group. Let me tell you right now, this is not another A group. We're a 12-step program. This is not another A group. I don't think recovery should come after addictions. I don't think that a requirement for membership should be a desire to stop using. I don't want you using in the first place. So if you're struggling with whatever, if you're struggling to recover from life in general, and you're thinking drugs or alcohol might make you happier, don't do that. Come see us first. Let's see if we can make you happier first. And as far as the A part goes, you guys, let me tell you right now, this is not another A group. And everybody already knows who you are. if you're a drug addict, if you're an alcoholic, I guarantee you at some point or another, you've made an ass out of yourself. And all of us do it. And all of us think we're so inconspicuous too. Like, we think we're so slick and we're so smooth when we're on drugs and alcohol. Let me tell you right now, I just got out of LCC. I've seen some drug addicts and some alcoholics, and there was nothing slick about that. There was nothing smooth about that. And there was nothing discreet about that. Everybody already knows you fucked up. Plain and simple. Everybody knows you did drugs. Everybody knows you drank alcohol. Like, even closet addicts, you guys all have the signs and the symptoms. Even if you think nobody knows, they know, but they don't know. Like, it's in the back of their head, like, there's something going on with you, but they don't know exactly what it is. So why remain anonymous in your recovery? Why discredit yourself? Why shun yourself, hide yourself away? Why not stand up today and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, I did drugs and alcohol. Let's talk about that. But let's also talk about my recovery. Let's talk about my comeback. Let's talk about all the good I did in my comeback. Look at me kicking ass here. You know what? I have been to so many of those A groups. And there is nothing worse than feeling like you're, I guess, a hindrance to society, to feel like you need to shut yourself into a closet and get out of people's way, and, you know, like, you're just a bother to people. I spent my whole life begging the wrong people for attention. I spent a lot of time in those A groups, being anonymous, staying anonymous, and not being proud of my accomplishments. And that led me down a very dark road. Again, for those of you who have not seen my show, for those of you who have, you know what's going on in my life. For those of you who've not, I am a mother of 6. My kids are with Child and Family Services. Because I messed up. You know, I spent so long hiding myself away, being, you know, an addict and being anonymous. That's a big thing. I was anonymous because I didn't want anybody to know I was an addict, even though everybody already knew. But, you know, like, I spent so much time being anonymous and not being proud of myself, not being proud of my accomplishments. And, you know, I really felt like nobody cared. And what it came down to was, I had 6 kids with my ex-husband because I just wanted to be loved. And the day I had my son, I had this most perfect little human being, and he loved me for no reason other than he could. And I have an addictive personality. Who knew? So I kept having more kids because, you know, what the heck. And I went down a very dark road when my husband got deported, and I started doing drugs again. And it didn't initially start off as me doing drugs. It was the habits. Even my mom said to me one day, she was like, you know, the habits are all there, and even if you're not doing drugs yet, you will. And I was like, and yeah, sorry about that, Mom. But, you know, I had the habits. I had the tendencies. I had the, you know, the drug addict ways going on. And I just, you know, I wasn't proud of my accomplishments in life. I was so busy trying to hide all of my indiscretions that I forgot to, you know, mount my achievements and put them on the wall. And I don't want any of you guys shutting yourselves up in a closet. I don't want you feeling today like you have to be anonymous. Everybody already knows you fucked up. Sorry. Just, it's the sad truth, you guys. It is the sad truth to it. Everybody knows you fucked up. You might as well just come out and tell them that you're done. You know, like, I'm done being this person, and, you know, it's time to start a new life. When I got into recovery, I had to do that. And I did that to the extremes. I was not a nice person before. Everybody who knows me knows that. For those of you who don't know me, my name was not always Elizabeth. I changed my name last year, March 20th, actually. And I ran away. Seen a meme on Facebook and it said, do you ever just wish, you could change your name and run away and make a new life for yourself? And I thought, why can't I? Yeah, I could do that. I could change my name. I could leave. Child and Family Services already has my kids. Like, what's holding me here? And I did. The opposite of addiction is connection. For those of you who haven't seen the TED Talk, look it up. They do this guy does this TED Talk about rats and addiction in this rat park, and how the rats who are left by themselves drink the drugged water and almost always die, and then the ones who are with other rats, they almost never touch the drugged water. But basically, the opposite of addiction is connection, and I spent so much time chasing the wrong people for attention. And I didn't even know what I was chasing, really, until last year. And, I was hurting. I was hurting a lot because these people did not want me. Like, I begged and pleaded, and, I really just wanted to fit in with these people, and I don't. And truth be told, that's my family I'm talking about. Like, you guys, those guys hate me. Maybe they don't hate me, but we don't fit in together. I'm a very different person than they are, and I don't fit in with my family that well. And I spent so much time wanting to fit in and begging and pleading for attention. And finally one day, I didn't have my husband anymore, so now I had like literally no attention. It was like my kids and me, and that was it. And if you've ever spent a week alone with 6 kids, after that much time, you need some adult conversations. Because Paw Patrol, oh man, I tell you everything I know about Paw Patrol. But I didn't have one adult conversation for like 2 weeks. And, it got to a point where I couldn't take care of my kids. I couldn't take care of myself. And I see this meme on Facebook all the time. It says, I don't know how anybody could look at their children and for those faces to not be enough for them to want to make better choices. Coming from somebody who's been there, I do. And I'll tell you, it's not that you look at them and that they aren't enough. It's that you look at them and you know that you're not. And you know that they deserve better. And that you can't give that to them. And it's a dangerous headspace to be in. Very dangerous headspace to be in. I give myself a lot of grief for that. Gave myself a really hard time. And I actually got caught up in a cycle of self-abuse. To which I gave away my kids to Child and Family Services and gave up my whole life. And one year, my husband was deported, and then the next year my kids were taken, and I had nothing left. So when they took my last baby at the hospital there, I was angry, and then I got sexually assaulted, and I was in a hotel room, and it was, 2 days before Christmas. I didn't have my kids. I was in a lot of pain from being sexually assaulted and then I was in a hotel room on top of that because my house was a crime scene. And somebody came into my room that I knew, who I was very close to, and accused me of being on drugs already. At which point, you guys know the addict headspace. I was like, well, if I'm going to get accused of it anyways, I'm done. And I relapsed. I relapsed really hard, actually, to a point where I almost killed myself. I have up on my Power of Positivity page, if any of you have been on it, it's the Power of Positivity on Facebook, the Recovery Edition, or you can look on my Facebook page, Elizabeth Rain. There's pictures of me on there, and you can see my hip bones, you can see my rib cage, you can see I'm laying on the bed, and you can see my rib cage, and then it dips down, and then you can see my hips, and I looked like I was gonna die. I looked like I was gonna die. And I didn't care at that point. I didn't want to live. I didn't want to be around. I didn't want to be around anybody. I hated my life. And I went into a visit one day. God bless my daughter. And she started crying. She wanted to come home. And I had tried. No, yeah, I'm not even going to say I tried. I kind of tried. I kind of half-ass tried. But I had no coping skills at the time. For somebody who has no coping skills, which is 90% of us, if you are an addict or an alcoholic, you probably have no coping skills. But I had no coping skills. And so for somebody with no coping skills, it's a difficult concept to understand that, you haven't given it your all. The understanding that I have of coping skills now is way different than what it was before. Before, if somebody asked me if I had coping skills, I would, or what coping skills were, I would have been like, read a book, have a bath. I don't know. Coping skills, you guys, that is the ability to look at a situation from a third-party perspective, an unbiased perspective, and evaluate it appropriately based on what's best for you. That's coping skills. When you can take yourself out of your own shoes and you can look at everything around you, when you can be empathetic to the people around you and still understand that you can love people, but you have to love yourself first, that's some mad coping skills. But I went into this visit, no coping skills. So at the time, I couldn't understand why I didn't have my kids back. And my daughter says to me, Mom, I want to come home. I can't just take her home. So I was like, I know, honey, I'm trying really hard. And she started crying. To which her little sister, who's only a year younger than her, saw, big sissy crying. And of course, she's going to jump on that tear train. And pretty soon I had, 5 out of 6 of my kids. The 6th one lives with his dad. I don't see him very often. But I had 5 out of 6 of my kids sitting in my lap, bawling and crying. And I've never been like a real teary person. I don't cry in front of my kids. I don't even cry in front of my husband. But I broke down and started crying. For so long I've been told not to cry. Social services has even told me, don't cry in front of your kids. You're not allowed to cry in front of the kids. If you're going to cry, you have to remove yourself from the room. Which is unhealthy as all hell. Like, come on, you guys. Pull your heads out of your butts. But for so long, I've been told, you can't cry in front of your kids. You have to be strong. You have to be strong for your kids. You have to put on a strong face for them. You have to put on a strong front for them. And, after being strong for so long, I couldn't do it anymore. And seeing all my kids crying like that, it destroyed me. And I broke down. I started bawling and crying. And I pulled everybody in closer so that they wouldn't see me tearing up. Because, I'm not supposed to cry in front of my kids. But one of my tears rolled down and hit my daughter in the cheek right here. At which she instantly realized it wasn't hers. And she stopped crying. Almost instantly stopped crying. She stopped and she looked at me. She's like, Mom, are you crying? And, I looked back at her and I said, of course I'm crying, baby girl. Mom misses you so much that it hurts. And if I could take you home right now, I would. And I just, I don't know how to do that. And my daughter, who's 7 years old, and an amazing little human, looked at me and she wiped tears from my face and she said, it's okay, Mom, it's not your fault. And that was it for me. Pushed me right over the edge. And I had been looking at changing my name already, thinking about starting a new life. I knew my visits with CFS were getting cut off temporarily. So I went home that night and I ran away. And when I say I ran away, I don't mean like like other people run away. I didn't pack my bags and load them into a U-Haul and whatever. No, I mean I left every freaking material possession I owned. I even left my dog behind because I didn't feel like I deserved her. I left everything behind and packed, I think, a half a suitcase full of clothes. My clothes didn't fit me anyways because I was a drug addict and I had just lost like 118 pounds, I think. So, massive changes, massive amount of changes. And I ran away. And I went out to Kelowna where I got treatment for a couple weeks and quickly decided that wasn't for me. Treatment is, I think, maybe not what it should be. When I say that, I mean like your phone updates itself probably every week. Programming on your phone updates itself once a week. Why are we still using programs from the 70s? But I went to Kelowna and I'm getting treatment, and I found out that the addictions treatment facility there also owns the active addictions houses. So they bring you in, you pay for 4 weeks worth of treatment. By week 2, you're getting kicked out for curfew, and they drop you right back off at the active addictions houses, which is a vicious cycle. But I joined AA leadership while I was there. And I went to this leadership meeting one night, and the lady stands up at the front of the room and she says, "We have 24,000 active members." And I'm like, whoa, in Kelowna? She goes, no, worldwide. What happened to 6 million? She says, oh, well, you have to think about all the people who drop in for, meetings and stuff. And I'm like, your program states that he who thoroughly follows your path will stay sober. Part of that path is registering a home group. You only got 24,000 registered members. It means you're helping less than 2% of your addicts stay clean and sober. What are you doing wrong? Like, something's got to be going on here, guys, because 2% don't seem like a whole lot to me. But, it was a real shocker for me. And it blew my mind. It was like, 2%? Like, come on, what's going on here? So I did something crazy. For those of you who know me, you know that crazy is my forte. I did something crazy. I went and checked myself into an active addictions home. And over a period of 2 days, I interviewed all 23 of the women in that active addictions home. Today, 20 of those women are sober. 20 of them. I'm very proud of that. And I interviewed them all one by one, and I was like, what's stopping you from being sober? What's stopping you from getting the help you need? What's causing you to feel like you don't want the help? They were like, well, it's embarrassing. I don't want to go out there and, tell people I'm a drug addict. Go out there and tell them you're looking for recovery, man. That's exciting. That's so exciting. And, I by the end of day 2, oh man, I thought I was gonna stab my own ear out with a pencil. But I went in, I interviewed all 20 of these women, or all 23 of these women, got 20 of them on board. And I went down to the Tim Hortons, down on the Mission, and had a coffee and rewrote a new program, a new 12-step guide that I'm going to share with you guys. I won't read it all out here, but I will post up on my page. Anybody who wants a copy of it, I'm happy to send you a copy. And my book's going to be out in like 2 weeks here. I'm so excited. Well, as long as we can get it printed, like, hello, COVID virus. But as soon as I can get a copy printed, I will show you guys a copy. I'm very excited about it. This is absolutely thrilling. I'm in a place in my life where I never in a million years thought I'd be. I didn't think I would be, writing a book, opening a recovery center. I craft fine jewelry, I do some pretty awesome stuff, and it's exciting, and I didn't think I'd ever be at this place in my life, but I will share my 12-step guide with you guys on my page, Power of Positivity Recovery Edition. But it's basically a universal recovery guide. And by universal, I have two meanings to that. I don't just mean universal like anybody can use it for recovering from anything, because I hope you do. I mean universal like I seriously think that there is a lot going on in this universe right now. Things are chaotic, and people need to learn to love each other again. People need to learn to get along again. Like, I have built this entire program based on the principles of unconditional love. Nothing more. Nothing less. Because to fully understand the concept of unconditional love, it's a beautiful thing, and that itself that's recovery all on its own. The most important part of that is to understand unconditional love for oneself. I had a hard time with that. Like I said, caught up in a cycle of self-abuse for a long time. I hated myself. And that's a big part of the reason why I changed my name. Because I don't resonate with any part of my old life anymore. I'm not the same person I used to be. And I have no problem admitting, my name used to be Courtney. At one point. I think the only person who still calls me that is my mom. And I just, after being Courtney for so long and causing so much chaos and so much pain, so much hurt, and mostly just disliking myself, I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, I don't even want to be this person anymore. I freaking hate myself. And then it occurred to me, I didn't even know who I was. I didn't know me. I didn't know my likes. I didn't know my dislikes. I could tell you anything you need to know about my kids. I can tell you their favorite color, their shoe size, their tickly spots, like anything. Myself, I couldn't tell you. Wow, I used to not be able to. I could now. But I was like, I need to get to know me. Who am I? Like, who do I want to be? Do I want to keep being this person? Like, I'm a jerk right now. So I changed my name. I ran away, made a new name for myself. Most importantly, made new friends. Like I said, opposite of addiction is connection. And I have this beautiful family out in Kelowna now. 20 amazing women who, I'm so proud of you guys. It was a huge fight. It was a huge fight. And a happy birthday to you guys. I know I just missed it, but people needed me at home. So here I am back in Mathbridge, Alberta. But I'm so proud of you guys. I have this amazing family back in Kelowna, you guys. They are 20 beautiful women and countless other people who aren't practicing my program. Amazing people. Dana, miss ya. It's just, there's so much that I built back there that really was the groundstone for building me. I needed something to build off of. I ran away where people didn't know me, where they weren't going to judge me, right? Because I had been such a jerk for so long. People didn't want to get to know me at that point. People didn't want to know who I was. They didn't want to know what I was doing with my life. And they didn't care if I was looking for recovery. And that's the really crappy part. And you know what, you guys? That's going to happen. I have eliminated the anonymous part out of my life for a reason. It's because I'm damn proud of the changes I've made. And I recognize within myself that anybody around me who cannot see those positive changes and be as excited about them as I am isn't worth my time. Plain and simple. If you can't give me your time, I can't give you mine. That's all there is to it. like I said, I spend a lot of time chasing the wrong people. And I finally got so sick of chasing the wrong people and went out and built this little family for myself. Because, you know, my daughter, the day that she said that to me, I was like, this is it. This is what I'm missing. This is what I'm missing in my life. Like, I've put these kids through hell. And I've caused them so much grief and so much pain and so much chaos in their lives. She still loves me for no reason other than she can. This is what I'm missing from my life. This is what I need. I need connection. I need people who love me. I don't have that here. And you know, that pushed me over the edge. I ran away to Kelowna, made a new life for myself. I have all these beautiful friends back home. And I call that home because honestly, you guys, it is my home. Home is where your heart is, and my heart is not here in Lethbridge. My kids are here in Lethbridge. And that on itself, or in itself, is, yeah, that's a whole nother story. I'm going to be going up for a massive battle against Child and Family Services. One in which I intend on laying a huge lawsuit. I've not seen my kids in 5 months. I have less rights now as a sober woman with a career, with a book, with a recovery program than I ever had as a homeless drug addict sleeping on my friend's couch. As a homeless drug addict sleeping on my friend's couch, I was still allowed to take my kids to the park and stuff. I was still allowed to go out and do things with them. I was still allowed to see them whenever I wanted. Like, now I'm sober. I have a book. I have a family. I have support. I've got everything I freaking need. But I don't see my kids. What's going on here? So I'm looking at a huge lawsuit against these guys. They have caused my family so much trauma, so much pain. It's unbelievable. And you know, that's really the only thing tying me here. Home is where your heart is. My heart is out in Kelowna. My heart is back home with my family. And anybody who can't be there for you, anybody who can't be excited for you, for your recovery, for, you know, any of your accomplishments, any of your achievements, they're not worth your time. And it really hurts to say that. Like, it really does, because I wanted them to be worth my time. I really did. And I tried for a long time to get along with my family. To a point where I've even messaged my older brother. He's not talked to me in like 5 years. I messaged my older brother and I was like, look, I just want to work things out. Like, whatever I've done to hurt you, tell me, please, so we can work through it, because I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to be a good sister and a good auntie, and, you know, give me a chance to do that.